Hi friends, we are back again to this classroom and we shall study about the chapter we have just started in the last class, that is about agriculture. And India is such a vast country and the climate that we receive also is different from place to place. The rainfall that we receive is different from place to place, and therefore people in India, they cultivate a variety of a practice a variety of agriculture. They do not practice same type of farming everywhere in India. It is different from place to place, depending on the climate, depending on the topography, depending on the monsoon rain, and so on. It is different from place to place. And one such farming that people undertake is intensive subsistence farming. Intensive subsistence farming. Let us see what is this intensive subsistence farming. You can take your textbook, page number 35. So this type of farming, that is this intensive subsistence farming, it is practiced in areas of high population pressure on the land. Suppose the population is very high in one area and the land is very less, and so they follow this type of cultivation there. What is the reason? The land is very less but people are more. Therefore, from the little land they have to produce plenty of food. Otherwise, it is not sufficient for the family. So this type of cultivation is not making for profit. It is just for one's own consumption, one's own use. So if a family has got a small piece of land and there are 5 members, or let's say 10 members are there, and so if they cultivate in the normal way, the food will not be sufficient for the entire family. They all will not get sufficient food. And so they have to use intense subsistence farming. They have to use some extra means in order to produce plenty of food from this small farm. That is called intense subsistence farming. So they are forced to cultivate because the land that they have is so small and the people are large in number. Therefore, they are forced to cultivate in this intensive subsistence farming. Let's see how they do it. So it is a labor intensive farming. So lot of people have to work. Throughout the year they have to work. Normally farming is done and after the harvest people take rest. There is so much work for them to do. But here in the intensive subsistence farming, throughout the year there is work. People have to do extra work. Then only they will be able to get enough food for all the people. So it is labor intensive. Lot of labor is required. Then they use high doses of biochemical inputs. They use lot of biofertilizers or chemical fertilizers in order to make the soil more fertile, because lot of cultivation is taking place and the soil's fertility is lost. Therefore, they have to put some additional fertilizers in order to make the soil more fertile. That is needed. And though the right of inheritance is leading to the division of land among successive generations, has rendered land holding size uneconomical, the farmers continue to take maximum output from the limited land in the absence of alternative sources of livelihood. So we said in this intensive subsistence farming, the land is very less and the people are more. The land becomes less because we know how the land people get the land. There parents' inheritance is divided among the children. Suppose a farmer has got a big plot of land, and let's say he has got 4 children. He has got 4 sons. So when the children grow up, he will divide his land into 4 and will divide 1 piece each to every son. So you see, the father had this much big land, and when it comes to his son, the land is become 1/4. The land has become very small. And now these sons also grow up, they get their family and they have children. Let's say each of them has got 4 sons each. So they have to divide their land for 4 sons, isn't it? So this will be divided. So the son will be getting a very small piece of land after making his house here, and very small area is left for cultivation. He and his sons, his family has to get food from this small piece of land. And again, if he gets married and he has got 4 sons, what happens? The land will be divided again into 4. You see, after a few generations, the land becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So that is why they need to practice this intensive subsistence farming, otherwise they cannot survive. And so they will cultivate maybe rice. After harvesting the rice, they may cultivate wheat. After harvesting wheat, they may cultivate cabbage or potato or other pulses and so on. So throughout the year, they will be going on cultivating one after another, and that way the soil's fertility is lost. And so they add some chemicals in order to improve the quality of the soil and increase the production, and so that is how the intensive subsistence farming is carried on. So it is mainly because the land holding is very little and the population is high. Therefore, the entire family has to manage, and they depend on using this intensive subsistence farming methods. Now, let us come to know about another type of farming. So this intensive subsistence farming is meant for one's own use, but another type of farming is called commercial farming. Commerce itself, it is business. So they produce plenty, not for them to eat, but they want to sell it, the extra they want to sell it in the market. That is their purpose. So that is called commercial farming. The commercial farming. Let's see how they manage this commercial farming, or what is the difference between commercial farming and intensive subsistence farming. So the main characteristic of this commercial farming is the use of higher doses of modern inputs. Example, high yielding variety of seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides in order to obtain higher productivity. So here the purpose is to make maximum profit. Commercial farming is carried on for profit making, but here it is not meant for profit. This is meant for the family use, but here the main purpose is to sell and make profit. And therefore they will be cultivating in a big area, and they will be using a lot of fertilizers, pesticides, and they will be using very high quality seeds so that the harvest will be very good and so on. So they don't care about the after effects. If you use so much of pesticides and chemical fertilizers and so on, it is not good for health. People who consume those products, they will have physical problems, they will have sicknesses and so on. But people who do this commercial farming, they don't care about the health of the other people. Their main purpose is to get maximum profit. and therefore they try to get maximum harvest, maximum crop from the land. So they will do everything that will help the growth of the plant by giving fertilizers, by doing irrigation, by using high yielding variety of seeds and using pesticides and so on. So their intention is to make higher production. And the degree of commercialization of agriculture varies from one degree to another. So I said in the beginning, throughout India, the style of cultivation or the amount of cultivation is not same. Some places they cultivate more, some places they cultivate less, some places it is just for their own use, some places it is for selling, making profit and so on. And for example, rice is commercial crop in Haryana and Punjab, while in Odisha it is a subsistence crop. So another thing is that the same cultivation that is done in different parts of India. For example, rice cultivation is done in different parts of India. In North India, Central India, South India, everywhere rice is cultivated. But the purpose is not same. For example, let's say in our own place, in Ziro Valley, people are cultivating rice. Is it not? For what purpose? Do you see them selling it in the market? So mostly they cultivate for their own purpose, for their own consumption. So we can call it subsistence farming. The people are cultivating it for their own purpose, and therefore that kind of cultivation is known as subsistence farming. But if you go to Punjab and Haryana, you will find very huge fields, and people are cultivating rice there. The farmers are cultivating rice there, not for their own purpose alone. Naturally, they also will be eating, but they are cultivating such a huge area, they cannot finish up all the rice. So the extra rice, they sell it in the market and make profit. So the same type of cultivation, it is done in different parts of India with different intentions. Some places it is done with intention of subsistence, that is for one's own use, and in some other place it is meant for selling and making profit and so on. So that is the example of rice. And there are so many other cases are there. You know, in your own field you may be cultivating certain vegetables and so on, not for selling but for your own home use. But in some other places the same type of vegetable may be cultivated by people and for the purpose of selling and so on. So some places the same cultivation is done as a subsistence farming, and some other places the same item is cultivated as commercial farming. And so another type of farming, I hope you are clear about the commercial farming. It is cultivated in large area for the purpose of selling, and if they want to sell, they want to get maximum profit. So in order to increase the profit, what they do? They use lot of fertilizers, they use very high quality seeds, they use chemical pesticides and so on. That is how they try to increase the production. Now another type of farming is called plantation farming. Plantation farming. Let us see what is this plantation farm. That is another type of farming. So plantation is also a type of commercial farming. So that is also planted in such a huge area, and it is meant for the purpose of selling and making money. So what is the difference between commercial farming and plantation farming? Is that a single crop is grown in the large area. So that is the speciality of this plantation farming. In that whole area, the large area, only one type of crop is planted. No mixing. Not half area will be planting one crop, another area, another crop, and so on. Not like that. The entire area will be planted only one crop. So sometimes maybe tea garden. If you go to Assam and so you will find a huge area filled with tea garden. Only teas will be there. They are not planting coffee there, or they are not planting other vegetables there. They will be planting only tea. So that kind of planting is called plantation farming. In a large area, only one crop is planted. That is called plantation farming. So this plantation has an interface of agriculture and industry. So we can say it has got an interface. So we can call it agriculture also. We can also call it industry, because if, for example, in the case of tea garden, it is a plant, therefore certainly it is a agriculture. But in the tea, when the leaves are cut, it is taken to the factory, it is processed, and it is turned into tea we use for drinking. So it is also tea industry. So it has got an interface. We can say it is a farming, and at the same time we can also say it is a industry. And plantations cover large tracts of land. As I said, they cover large areas of land. Then using capital intensive inputs, and since they are cultivating in a large area, what they need large capital. They need to buy such a huge land, they have to plant, and they need a lot of labor. They need to buy the seeds, fertilizers, so many things they need to do, and therefore it is really expensive to start. They need a lot of capital. Then they mainly use the work, they do the work with the help of migrant labourers. Migrant means labourers who are coming from other places to search for job and so on. So when they are going to other states, they may be coming from Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and so on to do the work, and they are searching for job and coming from so far, they are ready to work for little less labor charge. They will not demand, if you don't get this much amount, we will not work. They will not say like that, because they are in need of money, in need of job. So they are ready to work for little less labor charge also. So the people who are running this plantation, they make use these migrant laborers, laborers who are coming from far away place, and make them to do this work and pay little less, so that the owner can save a lot of money, they can increase their profit and so on. Then all the product is used for as raw material in respective industries. So those things that are produced, they are used in the industry as raw material. For example, the tea leaves, that is the raw material for making tea. Or another plantation farming is coffee. So they pluck the seed of the coffee and take it to the factory. They do the processing and make coffee powder. Or another thing is sugarcane. Sugarcane is grown in the farm. It is cut and taken to the factory, and there they do the processing and make sugar or good. Or banana is another plantation farming. So they cut the banana and take it to the factory, they do the processing and they make different items with banana. Or another one is rubber. They carry the rubber to the factory and they make so many items with rubber. So it is carried to the factory and it is used as a raw material in the factory for making a variety of things. And in India, tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, banana, etc. are important plantation crops. You can underline which are the important plantation crops in India. Which are they? Tea, coffee, sugarcane, banana, rubber and so on. And tea in Assam and North Bengal. So in Assam and in North Bengal, the plantation farming mainly they do with tea. Then Coffee in Karnataka. So people in Karnataka, they do this coffee plantation as a cultivate in a large area. Then they are some of the important plantation crops grown in these states. So remember, in West Bengal and Assam, they cultivate tea. Then in Karnataka, they cultivate coffee. And since the production is mainly for market, we already said the main purpose of this plantation farming is also for profit. Just as commercial, plantation is also commercial farming because it is done for the purpose of making profit, for selling in the market and making profit. And so since it is mainly meant for market purpose, a well-developed transport and communication connecting the plantation areas, processing industries and market plays an important role in the development of plantation. So since it is meant for making money or selling in the market and making profit, lot of things are required. First of all, there should be rods. After making the tea, they have to carry to the market for selling it. So there should be good road should be there. Then good communication system should be there between the manager and the worker. They should be able to talk. The manager should be able to contact the market area, people who are doing business to buy this one, and they should know about the price of the thing. What is in the international market? What is the price of the tea? Accordingly, they can sell it here. Otherwise, they will be cheated. So all these facilities should be there. Then only this plantation farming will be successful. So they need good road, good transport facility, they need good communication system. All these things are required. Then we can say the cultivation, plantation cultivation is going to be successful. So without all these things, if they simply start cultivating, then it is not going to be that easy. It will be a difficult thing for them to survive. They will lose all the money that they have invested. We said lot of capital is required. So they may be investing a lot of capital, but they forget to make road, they forget to make communication system, transport and so, then it is not going to be successful and all the money that is spent will be a loss. So that should not happen. So they need to do proper planning because it is not a small area cultivation, a very huge area of cultivation. Therefore they need proper planning, they need proper system, everything should be there, then it is going to be successful. So that is all about different types of farming. Intensive subsistence farming is meant for the use of the family. Then commercial farming is cultivated in a large scale for selling in the market and making money. Then plantation farming is also meant for selling and making money. But the difference is, the plantation farming, only one crop is planted. One entire area will have only one crop, no mixing up. But in the commercial farming, sometimes they do the mixing. Sometimes they will plant wheat, sometimes they will plant rice, sometimes they will plant potato, pulses and so on. But in the plantation farming, only just one single crop is planted. And that is meant for business as well. So we shall wind up for today, and we will come back again in the next class to continue to learn about different types of plantation in our country, different types of crops in our country and so on. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.